Hi guys, and welcome back to another session of Generative AI in Azure. My name is Kendi, and I might not be joined by my co-host. I think he's really engaged at the moment. Yeah, so we're going to just get right into the business of the day. So in today's session, we're going to be looking at um, workflows in Microsoft Foundry. Yes, specifically on the sequential workflow. So I'm going to be sharing my screen in a minute. I don't know, can you confirm if you can my screen? Okay, so let me just go and okay. Like, okay, yeah, I'm back. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be looking at workflows in Microsoft Foundry. We're going to be looking at sequential workflow in particular. So, workflow is a sequence of tasks that defines how AI agents, tools, systems, and humans work together to complete a process. So, what a workflow does is that it controls what happens first, what happens next, who or what performs each task, and how information moves between steps. And lastly, it's controls when decisions or approvals are required. So it is basically an organized flow of actions that is used to automate or coordinate tasks from start to finish. So an everyday example would be when ordering food online, for example. You place an order, then the kitchen or the restaurant confirms the order. The kitchen then prepares the food, then a delivery rider picks up the food to be delivered to you, and the last step is that the food gets delivered to you, the customer. So this is a workflow, a sequence of tasks where one has to be completed before the next. Yeah. So why do workflow matter when it comes to organizations? Firstly, is that it helps to automate repetitive tasks. It helps to reduce manual errors. It helps to improve speed, standardize operations, increase efficiency, and also it enables collaboration between humans and AIs and AI. Then sequential workflow. What is a sequential workflow? A sequential workflow is basically a step-by-step process where one agent's output becomes the next agent's input. So one process or task has to be completed first before the next one happens. For example, we can have like a content pipeline, for example, where we have different agents like the writer agents, the editor agents, for example, and maybe lastly the reviewer agent. So what the writer agent will do in this case is to create content, maybe for the organization to put online on their socials. Then the editor agent now comes in after the writer agent has completed its own task where it edits the content provided by the writer agent. Then you have the reviewer agent lastly, checking if the content checking the content for compliance before the output is finally published. Yes. And there are cases where a sequential workflow is the best. For example, when a task has a clear order, like the example I gave of the restaurant, you make an order, the order is confirmed. That's like a step. That's a sequence of tasks that have to be completed in order. The kitchen cannot prepare your food as a customer without you placing an order. Yeah. So in such cases, a sequential workflow is the best. Then you have situations where if each step depends on the previous one, like in the example I gave also, the next step depends on the previous step being completed. Yeah. And lastly is when you want predictable output. So various examples of this include in invoice processing, for example, in content creation pipelines, like I mentioned, customer onboarding. There are this sequence of actions that one task has to be completed before the next. Now, and the advantages to using a sequential workflow, firstly, is that it is very easy to understand. It is easy to debug, especially when things go wrong. It is predictable because it follows a series of predictable steps. And lastly, it is great for automation. So I'm going to be showing us how that works in Microsoft Foundry. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. I don't know. Yeah, let's check here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to do that again. Let's stop sharing and do that. Okay. I don't know if you have confirmed you can see my screen because it's looking a little jumbled up from my end. Okay. I think what I'll have to do is to close this. Yeah. So, can someone confirm if you can see my screen, please? Stop sharing. Yes, I'm within the Azure, the Microsoft Foundry portal now, and I apologize for the lack of coordination. I'm so sorry. It's a little bit jumbled up in my hand here. Okay, let's do this one once more so that I can confirm that I am sharing my screen. Okay, yeah, okay, yes, yes, got it. Yes, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show us how that works in Microsoft Foundry now. So we're going to be the business use case here is a fintech company that needs to publish daily social media posts across their social media pages, LinkedIn, X, and Instagram. But manually, they are not able to write everything at scale. So what they do instead is to use a Microsoft Foundry sequential workflow to generate and approve content before publishing. So the goal here is to produce a compliant and brand safe marketing post that drives engagement and trust. So we're going to be creating three agents in this workflow. First is going to be the writer agent, which is going to be the marketing content creator. Then the second agent that we're going to be creating for this workflow is going to be the editor agent, the brand editor. It's going to serve as a brand content editor, editing the content given by the first agent, which is the writer agent. Then the last is going to be a reviewer agent, which is going to review the content that was given by the previous agent. Now, so I'm going to just go ahead and show us how that works. So we're firstly creating the writer agent. So like we've been discussing in the previous sessions, when you want to create agent, you need to give it instructions to follow. So I'm going to be giving my agent instructions so that it can, yeah. So I'm within the Microsoft Foundry portal. So to create a workflow, you just need to come here. I'm already signed in. I'm already signed in. Then when you toggle on this button, you have four options, either to create a blank workflow, to create a sequential workflow, human in the loop, or group chat. But our focus today is creating a sequential workflow. So I can either go ahead and click on this. Yes, I can either do it this way, where it has given me a template already to follow, or I can decide to build it from scratch using the blank workflow, which is what we're going to be doing today. So I'm not going to be saving this. Then I'll go ahead and create a blank workflow. Yeah. So it's already has a start node here. So what I want to add is, like I said, I'm going to be creating three different agents. Is to add an agent because I'm creating an agent. So the agent I want to be creating, I don't have any agent created here. So I'll just go ahead and create a new agent, which is going to be my writer agent. So I'm going to just wait for that to get done. Yes. Then remember, I said we have to give our agent instructions. So I already have the instruction copied, which I'm just going to go ahead and paste here. Yeah. So the instruction here says you are a marketing copywriter for a fintech company, and your task is to create engaging social media content that promotes financial literacy, digital payments, and product features. The brand follow brand tone, simple and clear and professional, friendly but not informal or slang heavy, focus on value to users, not ad selling. So include hook, attention grabbing first line, main message, call to action, and not to worry about perfect grammar or final polish. So I'm done with that. So the next thing I'm going to do for the next node, I already know that what is coming next after this agent is another agent. So I'm going to add that. Yes, because I already have a sequence of what I'm following. So yeah, so let me minimize this. Yeah. And for second agent, the second agent is our editor agent. That's what we're going to be creating next. So I'm just copying the instructions I want to give to the agent and go ahead and click on this tool. So yeah, you can already see the agent I created, the writer agent, but I already have it. So I'm going to just go ahead and create the next agent, which is the editor agent. Go ahead and click on create. Yes. Then also give it instructions to follow. So here it says you are a senior content editor for a fintech brand. Your responsibility is to refine marketing content for clarity and professionalism. Follow these rules. Improve grammar, structure, and flow. That's all from the content. The content right the writer agent. This editor agent is meant to improve the content that the writer agent provides. So ensure messaging is concise and easy to understand, align tone with fintech brand guideline, trustworthy, clear, and modern, remove redundant or overly promotional language, do not change the core message or intent. So it's not meant to change anything. It's just meant to edit, to refine whatever the writer agent provides. So also like I did for the writer agent, I'm also going to add agents as the next node. So done. So the last I'm going to be doing now is the reviewer agent. So it is meant to review the content that is generated by um that was generated by the writer agent and edited by this editor agent now. So I'll go ahead and click this and create new agents. A reviewer agents. Go ahead to create this. Yes, I think that is done. So there is no next agent after this. So okay, I haven't given it its instructions, so I'll just go ahead and paste that here. So here it says you are a compliance and brand safety reviewer for a fintech company. Your job is to ensure that all marketing content is legally compliant with financial advertising rules, not misleading or exaggerated, free from risky financial promises like guaranteed returns, appropriate for a general audience, consistent with ethical marketing standards, and if issues exist, adjust wording to reduce risk, soften absolute claims, and only return content that is safe for public publishing. So I'm just going to go ahead and click done. Yeah. So I already have the all the agents I need for this um for this workflow. So one thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to save this. Just going to call it the content workflow. Yes. So yeah, I have my three agents here. So I want to preview this to see whether it's working and test it out. And so I'll ask it to create a post for uh let's say LinkedIn. Yeah. So let me scroll to the top. So here you can see that this followed a sequence. Firstly, it was the writer agent that got to work. So it provided um, the post I requested for LinkedIn. Then it handed it over to the editor agent. Then when the editor agent was done, it handed it over to the reviewer agent to review. Yes. So um, that's working. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, so I want to s- I want to I want a okay, an Instagram post on financial literacy. Financial, let's say freedom, independence rather. Yeah. So you can see the writer agent is done over. Yes. And this is done following the sequence. Yeah. So from the writer agent provided this content, then the editor agent then refined the post generated by the writer agent. Then lastly, it hands over to the reviewer agent now. Yeah. So that works. Yeah. So like I mentioned, um, there are different. instances where using a sequential workflow is the best when you have a clear order of how you want the task to progress. For example, I knew I wanted to create content, an Instagram post now. I want to post something on Instagram. Then I have my writer agent write the content out for me. Then I then have my editor agent edit the content that was generated by the writer agent. Then lastly, I add the reviewer agent go through what the previous agent has done and make sure that it complies to the laid down um, rules, basically. Yeah, so that is how a sequential workflow, that's how it works. So that will be all from me today. See you next time, the next section. Bye and have a good day.